Hey guys, welcome to another Tabletop Ready Miniatures video. This is another, I guess, picture report is what we're going to call them. And we're playing a 2,000 point Age of Sigmar battle. We're using the studio Sons of Behemat, which the Man Crushers or Gargants are pretty much almost done. And obviously, as you can see from the picture here, our Mega Gargants have a little ways to go. We mainly did we got the skin done on everybody, and then we just got a lot of almost all the details done for the Man Crushers. So it's a 2,000 point battle. For my list, I brought a Mega Gargant, the War Stomper. He's my general, which means I take a Stomper tribe, and then I have another Mega Gargant Gatebreaker. And then I have two 3-man units of Man Crusher Gargants. What my War Stomper has I think it's like the very shouty command ability, which gives them D3 as long as they're on the table at the beginning of the first turn. You get D3 command points. And he took the Ironweld Cestus artifact, which is, in my opinion, just the best. And then my opponent brought, some Night Haunts. So his total list is he has 6 heroes. He has Kurdos. He has Lady Olander. He has a Guardian of Souls with, I think he has the artifact that's like gives you D6 instead of D3 to bring them back, or number of units you get to bring back. He has a Knight of Shrouds on Steed. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he has a Dreadblade Harrow, and then he has a Cairn Wraith. And the Cairn Wraith and he did bring a. Maybe he didn't. No, maybe he didn't take the artifact that gives him additional bringbacks. He actually had an artifact on the Dreadblade Harrow, the Cairn Wraith, that like gave him on 6s to hit. It was instead of D, it was 3 plus D3 because it's normally D3 damage. It's like D3 plus D or plus 3. So he was kind of a little blender. The guy's only got like 4 wounds, but he wanted to try it out. So those are his 6 heroes. He brought 3 units of chain rasps, two 40-man units and a 10-man unit. He brought a 20-man unit of Bladegeist Revenant and a 20-person unit of the, what are they called? It's not the Meyer Morn. It's the Herodrin. Dread Scythe Herodins. So that's his 2,000 point army. So that's like, which is actually perfect for a Stomper tribe, with the additional damage I get for units over 10 or more models and 20 or more models. Because he had 2 units of 20 and 2 units of 40. So yeah, he was. I mean, that's 100. He had like 120 models all said and told, around that much on the board, and I had 8. 120 models versus 8. So, and so just so you guys know, the War Stomper, if you have a Stomper tribe, the additional ability is the Man Crusher Gargants. Their damage, if they're fighting a unit of 10 or more, their damage goes to 2 for their clubs, and if it's 20 or more, the damage goes up to 3. 3 damage per hit. So super powerful, plus the command abilities that he has, the 5 different command abilities that he can use. So this is how we deployed. We played. I don't remember the mission. So how it works is there's 4 objectives in each. Well, 1 in each quarter. You get 1 if you hold it. 1 if a hero holds it, and 1 if you take it away from the other person. So if someone already has the objective and you take it from them, you get 1 for holding the objective and a +1 for taking it away. So if a hero takes it away, you can actually get 3 at the end of your turn for 1 objective. So this is how we deployed. He had his 10-man chain ras as a screen, a 40-man, and then a 40-man. Not sure why he placed this so far back. He just really wanted to protect his heroes, and then he has all of his heroes in the bubble. He left the Cairn Wraith, the Banshees, and the Bladegeist Revenants in the underworld. And then I just deployed. You had to deploy 9 inches away from the other person's territory. So I just deployed my Gatebreaker back, my War Stomper in the middle, and then my Man Crushers on the sides. In hindsight, I shouldn't have put him so far back. I should have put him farther up. And then I actually, because I won on the drops, I decided to go second. And one of the things I learned from Games Workshop, shout out to Games Workshop, is you check to see control of objectives at the end of each player's turn, not just at the end of the battle round. So by having that was one of the things, by having him go first. One, we'll see how he moves, see if he's going to bring anyone in, and then I control this objective at the end of his turn, so I can move away from it. And that was the whole point. One of the many reasons why I wanted him to go first. So he ends up going first, and so this is his first turn. He just kind of moves up his screen a little bit, spreads out his 40 mans. He transported his Dreadblade Harrow over here to the objective, and then dropped his Bladegeist Revenant 9 inches away from these guys because he's planning on charging. So that's how he did his movement. Oh, and then I did roll two. I rolled for 2 command points at the beginning of the battle, and then Kurdos. Being able to steal your command points on a 5-up, I mean, that's pretty neat. So he actually ended up stealing that on my first turn. So, sorry, I'm just gonna nope. Oh, so sorry, I'm just kind of skipping forward. So he ended up trying to charge, and he actually failed his charge here, and so that was literally like the end of his turn, and he didn't want to spend the command point to reroll even though he had it. That's why he had the Blade Harrow over here, was he was debating on whether to charge, and he ended up deciding not to. So then it was my turn. So I moved him up. So I had 2 command points. He ended up stealing my command point that I would have gotten for my first turn. With Kurdos. So then I had my guys run up. So I had them run. I used the Hey Get Moving command ability that lets them run. So they all moved up 14 inches, the 2-man Crusher units. He moved up over here close to the units. Obviously, you can see it. This is the end of the charge phase. But then I had them throw rocks. Use another command ability, which I'm still debating on whether or not I should have. I think I needed to clear up more of the chaff just to get, so I could squeeze them. I really wanted to get a Man Crusher Gargant unit into one of his 40 man. So they ended up chucking rocks at the little one, peeled off a bunch. Then I charged in and did mortal wounds basically across the board. And I'm pretty sure No, I didn't pop them with mortal wounds. So these guys all charged in. And then this is the end of combat. So he didn't kill a whole bunch. He killed, I want to say, like 8 or 9 of the guys. Throughout the whole game, Bill's a great player, and he's really good at rolling 4-ups and 6-ups. And I actually also forgot, so in this combat, I actually forgot to do their mighty kicks and their headbutts and their stuff them in the bags. So obviously, like I said, this is a brand new army. don't know how or why I forgot all those different attacks. I still ended up killing like 12 or 13 of these guys, but you know, you're getting free mortal wounds and other things like that. You gotta kind of remember. Obviously, destroyed that unit, and then I ended up moving him over. Now, they have big bases and they can move over terrain that's 4 inches or less, but you can't end your movement on the terrain, which is frustrating because it's like I couldn't quite get him all the way over the fence, so I had to move down. So this is his turn. So then that was the end of the turn. So at the end of his turn, he had this one contained, and he had stolen. You know, he had captured that one with his leader. So he had 4 points. And then at the end of my turn, I was actually within 3 inches of here. So I had this one contained, and then I stole this one from him. So I actually got 3 as well, and got 4s. So we were tied on command points at the end of turn 1. So anyway, so then I moved here. So then on his turn 2, he actually broke away from combat here, dropped in his Cairn Wraith and his Banshees, his Harridans, because he's looking to charge, and he broke these guys away, and I was thinking because you can still charge in the turn that you fall back with Night Haunts, and which is really good, especially for these Blade Geist Revenants. So I thought he was gonna fall. So he actually only did 1 damage here, and I think they did his on his turn, or on my turn, at the bottom of turn 1. His guys actually did quite a bit of hurting. I think they did like 10 wounds on my my man crushers. So anyway, so then his turn, he's getting ready to charge. I had popped those guys, and so he was just kind of moving. So he ended up moving these guys up closer, just kind of spreading out his heroes. He jumped his Blade Harrow, his Dreadblade Harrow over here. Just, you know, the telly jumping around. He actually ran him, and got like a 5 or 6, so he moved like clear across the board. And then he ends up charging in. So he actually got the charge here. Luckily, he only got a 9 because he needed a 9. Luckily, he only got the 9 and didn't get a 10, so he didn't get an extra attack. He got the charge in here, and then he just kind of piled in there on his turn. So there's a picture of that and that. So at the end of this combat, they didn't do a lot of wounds on these guys, and he, like I said, he's sitting on 10 wounds. I just want to make sure. Okay, so that's, as you can see, so this is the top of turn 2. So he charged in. So then obviously we fight back. I know I moved him up on my turn. So basically his turn, he's just fighting, trying to kill me. And then on my turn, I move up, and I put a World of Hurt. If I remember correctly, I actually kill this unit on his turn, because then I move actually, once how he wrapped his guys, he actually ended up wrapping them so that they were within 3 inches. So I ended up killing them on his turn, and then on my turn, I was stuck in combat with these guys. So these guys, plus I think I had 2 guys at the time, ended up practically finishing off, which you can see here, finishing off almost all of his 40-man. So we've killed his 10-man, we've killed his 20-man Blade Geist Revenants, we've killed almost all of his 40-man first 40-man chain rasp unit. He's got 1 wound on him, and I think this guy's got 10. So you can see I moved up, and then I actually charged that Blade Harrow, Dread Blade Harrow, and I actually popped him with just the charge. So you know how you get to roll that 2 up, and then you do d6 mortal wounds. Yeah, I ended up rolling a 5 and just popping the guy, and so nothing happened. This combat down here was just a pillow fight. So they hit on 4s and he hits on 4s, and they both it was just the fluffiest fight, which was irritating because it took me, if it was my War Stomper, like they would have been gone in 1 turn, 1 full round of combat. So I fight on your round, I fight on my turn, and like they're gone. This guy went like 3 full your turn, my turn rounds before he finished off this unit. It was so irritating, and I'm just, part of me wonders like, well, and I guess part of it too is, you know, his club, he gets it's hitting on 4s, wounded on 3s, but it's -3 AP, and then a rend, I guess you call it rend, and then it's 3 damage a pop. So it wasn't necessarily that I was rolling. I mean, I was rolling poorly for him, but even still, against most other guys with a -3 rend, you know, it's all going through. So hey, I hit with 3 of them. You know, I hit and wound with 3 of them. Now you take 9 damage, whereas he would save 2 of the 3. So he's only taking 3, and then he rolls his, you know, most of the time he was in getting to roll the 6 up as well. So, you know, he'd take 3, and then he saves 1 of those as well. So I was only doing, you know, like anywhere from like 3 to 5 wounds a round, which was incredibly frustrating. Yeah, so this was like a pillow fight. So that's as it stands. His heroes are exposed. I still wasn't close enough to take this objective, and like I said, that was the biggest thing, because this was such a pillow fight. I couldn't go back and claim this objective, which means like for 2 rounds at least, he kept collecting 2 points a turn with that, which was incredibly frustrating. There's a picture of him doing nothing to the blade, or the Dread Herodins. Dread Scythe Herodins. So then he gets turn wall. Sorry, we're gonna go back. So I end up getting turn. I believe I end up getting turn 3. Yeah. And I'm still locked in combat, if you can see it. So I'm within 3 inches of these guys. And so that is the one problem with these like a unit of 3 Mega Gargants. So like this guy is within 3 inches, which means the whole unit is technically locked in combat, which is incredibly frustrating. So I literally spend my next turn killing them off. And then he ends up charging in. No, that's not right. I apologize. So he actually gets first turn, and he ends up moving these guys up. He actually charges Kurdos into the War Stomper, and he charges these guys in. He actually moves them in a way that he can dual charge. He dual charges and gets both him and this giant in, or both units in. And on his turn, he ends up killing one of these guys. And then we kill a bunch of guys, and I leave Kurdos alone. I did a mortal wound on him on his turn with the Ironwell Cestus, and we're just kind of killing chain rasps. So on my turn, these guys pile in, so that I can get all. It's 2 different units. So there's the green 4-armed and then the blue 4-armed unit. So I have 3 Man Crusher Gargants, and then he's barely wounded, like 6 wounds or something like that. And so we just spend my turn killing. I pretty much ignore Kurdos for the first turn, for my turn 3, because we're trying to get this 40-man unit down to nothing. And then you can see just whittling it away. Turn 4, he realizes, man, I need more points because, we're putting in work. We're killing a lot of bodies. So he realizes he wants to come and claim this objective. So even though if I table him, he can still win on points. Doesn't quite get there with the run. We're still locked in combat. All of these units are locked in combat as well as him. And he gets turn 4. So that, like I said, he runs. We're still locked in combat, and that's when we finally finish off. We pretty much finish off his chain rasps on his turn, top of turn 4. So top of turn 4, we do a ton of wounds. He ends up peeling them off of the Mega Gargants instead of the War Stomper, because the War Stomper, I mean, he's at this point I think he's only got like 12 wounds left, or 12 wounds taken total, and he really doesn't want to let the War Stomper get loose, so he gives up the Man Crushers, which in hindsight it would probably, because Kurdos was still alive, so I would have had to kill him on my turn. It probably would have been better to peel off chain rafts off of the War Stomper to keep these guys tied up. Because on my turn, bottom of turn 4, I split them up. So I take my single War Stomper, he moves and ends up charging the Knight of Shrouds on Steed. And then these guys end up charging Allander, Lady Allander, and the Guardian of Souls. And then he's still in combat, and he's pretty much done. And so I end up just demolishing Lady Allander with mortal wounds and clubs. And then he ends up, I believe on my turn, I end up destroying Kurdos, and then all we have left is a smattering of chain rasps. And then you can see here, I end up with, between mortal wounds and the club, I end up destroying the Knight of Shrouds. And then so on his turn 5, he ends up deciding to charge in with his Cairn Wraith. He ends up getting a 10, which means he gets to attack. So he ends up attacking twice in the same turn. Does quite a bit of wounds on him. This guy actually took the most wounds. I think he had taken 28 wounds total by the end of the game. And then he brings back, Guardian Souls hops out of combat, brings back some more chain rasps. Now I've taken this objective, back, because each of these guys takes 10, as well as taking that objective down below where the Knight of Shrouds was. So I was behind the first couple of turns on point wise. By turn 4 we were about tied, and then turn 5 is when I win. So at the bottom of turn 4, I finish off these guys. I run him over, hoping to get the objective. We pretty much clean off the chain rasps, and then that's the last one. I didn't take a picture of the end. So then basically turn 5. So I think I'm on, like, he's on 14. And I'm on, I want to say like 12 or 13. So on turn 5, I move him up. So I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so I go up. So I'm on I think I'm on 13. So I end up going, I end up No, is it 13? Yeah, cause I end up getting 6 points, and I end up with 19, and he's on 14, and even if there's no way he could take at this point at the end of my turn 5, the top of turn 5, I finish off his chain rasp, and literally all he has left is his Guardian of Souls, and so like I said, we call it there. Obviously, his Guardian of Souls isn't going to do anything, and isn't going to take any objectives, and even if he did, it's only 3 points. The max he could get was 3 points. It would bring him to 17 to 19. So that's the end of the battle. It was super fun. It was. I know. Every time I play with him, so I've seen him play twice. I've basically played with him twice, and every time I play with him, I think yes, I know. There's so much meta that's ridiculous nowadays, but this Sons of Behemat, for anyone who's on the fence or thinking about it or doesn't quite know, it is a fun army. It is an incredibly fun army to play. It's low model count, tons of attacks. There is variety. You can do a big Mega Gargan if you want to just do a bunch of Mega Gargants. Or if you want to do a bunch of So I'm going to do a bunch of Man Crushers. I want to get 3 more Man Crusher Gargants. And I want to run just a War Stomper with 9. And how I want to run it, my ultimate list, I think, is a Man Crusher or a War Stomper and 2 units of 3 Man Crushers and 3 individual Man Crushers. Because how this would have gone differently is I kind of left him back because I wanted to play, I knew he could deep strike, and most armies have some kind of deep strike or fly, and, they can move pretty quickly. So having him sit back and babysit objective is ridiculous. But, so if I had, if you take him out, which I still like him, and, I'll still play him, but you take him out, you bring 3 individual Man Crusher Gargants. This game is, yes, I won, and I actually won pretty handily, but it turns it on its head. Because now one guy sits back and babysits within 3 inches, right? And not even with 3, actually just like 6 inches or 9 inches away. Because if you're gonna deep strike in and try to take this objective back, well, yeah, you probably stay within 3. You know what I'm saying? So you have to come and kill me to take that objective. And so now all of a sudden I have my 2 3-mans, my War Stomper, and then I have 1 Man Crusher here, 1 Man Crusher here, and 1 here. And now it's like they're gonna run over here, and anything you do, if you're gonna deep strike, there's a 3-man unit ready to destroy you, plus the War Stomper. So that gives you that more versatility, right? The 2 3-mans and the War Stomper are gonna be taking your objectives away from you, killing all your units. The individual War Stompers or Man Crushers, they're going to be running out and grabbing those, off in the middle of nowhere objectives. And most deep, you think about most. Night Hunt is kind of an exception, but most other people's, like, deep strike, they use small units to go and steal those objectives off in the middle of nowhere, right? Well, a small unit, like, Daughters of Cain small unit, or I'm just trying to think of some others, Beast of Chaos, all those different guys that can bring units on different spots on the board, you're going to have a tough time. Obviously with, Night Hunt, if you can bring a 20-man unit of Dreadblade, no, what are they called? Bladegeist Revenants and stuff like that. Now those guys could more than likely kill, especially if they get the charge. They could quite possibly kill a Man Crusher with only his 12 wounds. But still, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, you're gonna drop 1 here and charge. Well, it just gives you that more. It gives you more maneuverability. You have, these monsters that can go and claim objectives while, the big boys go in and do the damage. So, anyway, a lot of fun, guys. We should. I'm hoping to have everything finished and painted by the end of the week, so that we can do another video, show you how they all turned out. I will, like I said, definitely be getting here in the near future 3 more Man Crusher Gargants. And then somewhere down the line, I'll get a Kraken Eater. I just really am not a fan of the rules or the model. The only thing I like about the Kraken Eater, I'm gonna be honest, is the kick in the objective. I think is fantastic and kind of cool. So, anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Appreciate it. Don't forget, we are a commission studio. We do commission painting for you. We can help you get your miniatures tabletop ready. We also have a web store, tabletopreadyminiatures.com, where you can buy miniatures. GW, it's 15% off, and all orders over 120 bucks go up to 25% off. So, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. We are hoping and planning on getting some actual like live video battle reports, as well as doing these. I actually kind of like these once bitten esque battle reports. So, but yeah, we do have plans on doing some actual live video battle reports as well here in the future. So thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for liking and subscribing. Don't forget, we have a competition probably by the time you see this. It'll be the last day. It ends October 30th at the end of the day. And basically, if you're subscribe, like the giveaway video, and leave a comment on that video, you're in the running for a giveaway. So anyway, we'll check you guys next time. Talk to you later.